So I said, all right, well, maybe she wants a man. So I'm thinking she's into it. It wasn't until 2 days later where she told me she didn't like it.
What happens when a mother of a child lies about who the father of her baby is? Best guess? The real father gets furious and ends up denying both the mother of the child and the child as well. These are some of those times when such a thing happened. Mr. Adle is in the courtroom today to prove that Ms. Jones committed paternity fraud. He claims that Ms. Jones duped him into signing the birth certificate for her daughter, only to find out after her child was born that she cheated prior to getting pregnant, and another man could be the father of her child. This is how the case began.
Mr. Adle, you are here today to prove Ms. Jones committed paternity fraud. You claim Ms. Jones duped you into signing her daughter's birth certificate only to find out after her child was born that she cheated prior to getting pregnant.
Did I just hear him say he and Ms. Jones are swingers? Oh wow, that adds a whole new dynamic to their story. Mr. Adle says that she broke the terms of their relationship agreement, and all Ms. Jones is trying to do is pin a baby on him. I wonder how cheating works when he claims that they are both swingers.
Is there an agreement that you always use protection?
Yes, ma'am. Every single time you use protection, you gotta protect yourself. You don't know what's out there, you know?
Right.
She went against...
That's a lie. I used a condom.
You broke the rules because you had sex with someone outside of the relationship, but you say you did use protection.
Yes.
I'd like to see how Mr. Adle lies his way out of that one. Apparently, there are swinger rules, and one of them is that you don't have sex with anyone when your partner is not there. Ms. Jones says that the only reason she cheated was because Mr. Adle cheated on her first. To even spice it up, Ms. Jones says that she has a picture of Mr. Adle in bed with another woman.
Our relationship after we made it official. I had talked her into it. It took a lot of convincing.
At first, I thought he was crazy. Why would you want to sleep with somebody else other than your loved one?
Because
that's what I'm thinking.
It's exciting.
But I gave it a chance because I loved him.
Ha ha ha. It's hilarious that he can't remember what the ad says. It's even funny that they actually put something like that as an ad online. Ms. Jones says that she never thought she would be a swinger. The only reason she accepted to do it was because she was in love with Ms. Adle. I guess love does make you do crazy things with your partner.
Honestly, I was hoping that he would stop it before it got that far, that he wouldn't really want another man to have intercourse with me.
Yeah, and that's kind of my point too. I want to understand this. If you love somebody, how do you bring yourself to want to see somebody else have sex with them?
I mean, she isn't wrong for feeling that way and saying she didn't like it. Ms. Jones says that she didn't really like the idea of another man wanting to sleep with her, but since Mr. Adle didn't stop it before it happened, there was pretty much nothing she could do about the situation. Mr. Adle does admit that she told him 2 days after that she didn't like the fact that another man had sex with her.
Told me that she was comfortable. After that, we had given her a body massage, you know. Then we took her from there. He went on her.
Ha ha ha. Judge Lauren is just so funny. I can't believe she just said their case is turning into 50 Shades of Paternity. But then again, can you really blame her? Mr. Adle tries to explain how the whole thing went down, and I can't lie. Everything coming out of his mouth seems like a scene from the movie 50 Shades of Grey.
Find out she invited someone over.
She had told me. She came out and confessed to me that she cheated and the baby might not be mine. That hurts my feelings.
So, Ms. Jones, what happened with this other man? Why decide to have sex with this other man?
That's actually not surprising. Ms. Jones tells the judge that the reason she cheated was because Mr. Adle was neglecting her, and he would disappear for days without telling her where he was heading to. She also says that she remembers using protection, and the only reason she said that there might be another possible father was to get under Mr. Adle's skin.
You know, and now she finally tells me.
But this was like a month ago?
Yeah, this was a month ago that all this occurred, that she had told me that she had cheated.
So Jocelyn was already 1 month old then?
Exactly.
Well, we can't argue with him if he feels like that. Mr. Adle explains that Ms. Jones did not tell him that she cheated on him until 1 month after the baby was born. Now he says that even though he has built a bond with the child, he no longer wants to do that if he is not the biological father of the child.
Throughout the whole month. Throughout the whole end
so that's
of the
why
month.
it's a sex
The
month.
end of the month. After that one night with his friend, we had sex.
That just complicates the whole situation. Ms. Jones and Judge Lauren go through the calendar together and realize that, given the date her daughter was born, if the dates are traced back to the day of conception, both men actually appear as the father of the child. Ms. Jones says that she believes Mr. Adle is the father of the child because she used protection with the other guy.
Of course.
You guys sleep the same.
You sleep the same.
Yes, and your guys' head shapes
I could name
are
10
the
different
same.
people who sleep the same as me.
Not
on
the-
your back with your eyes closed.
I'm
your
just
eyes
happy you
half
all actually
open and your
sleep.
mouth.
And that's right. We can't go with the fact that just the baby looks like Mr. Adle or sleeps like Mr. Adle. That automatically makes him the father of the baby. Well, we've seen and heard enough from Mr. Adle and Ms. Jones. Now let's see what the DNA results have to say about their situation. Here are the results.
When it comes to 2-month-old Jessela Adle, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Adle, you are the father.
I told you.
Ms. Jackson says that she has always believed Mr. Hightower was her father, but claims that he disappeared out of her life when she turned 6 and denied paternity. After reconnecting with him on the phone just 2 months ago, she has now opened this case to prove what she has always believed to be true. This is how the case begins.
Jackson, you have always believed Mr. Hightower was your father, but claim he disappeared out of your life when you were 6 and denied paternity. After reconnecting with him on the phone 2 months ago, you opened your case.
Looks like Ms. Jackson's memory is quite impressive for her to remember those memories from as far back as when she was a kid. She says that she believes Mr. Hightower is her father because her mother told her that he was, and she has memories of them going to the mall and him coming over to her house to spend time with her.
Jackson's mother.
Yes, I did.
Tell the court about the nature of your relationship.
Me and her mother had a relation, and we was intimate for like about 6 months, about 35, 40 times. After that,
It's heartbreaking when you see stories like Ms. Jackson's. Years lost, relationships damaged, trust shattered, all due to unresolved conflicts and poor communication between partners. Situations like this remind us just how important it is to address relationship problems early on, before they cause lasting damage. That's exactly why so many couples turn to Brad Browning's Mend the Marriage. Brad's powerful program offers practical, easy-to-follow advice that helps couples repair trust, resolve conflicts effectively, and rebuild the emotional bond that might seem lost. Don't let your relationship reach a breaking point. Scan the QR code on your screen or click the link in the description below and start healing your relationship today. That's interesting. Mr. Hightower says that he did have a relationship with her mother that lasted for about 6 months before it broke off. He then goes on to say that there were other men involved, and every time he asked Ms. Jackson's mother for a paternity test, she never agreed to have one. That does explain why he has doubts.
I seen her 2 months. She was 2 months pregnant at the time that I seen her. But at that time, her ex came back into the picture. So the dates that she was telling me just didn't add up.
You realize that the window of conception.
Oh, wow. Looks like there's more to this story than we thought. Ms. Jackson tells the judge that her mother told her that Mr. Hightower went to doctor's appointments with her mother. Mr. Hightower says that he never did so and has no idea why her mother told her that he did. He even says that he was in a relationship with another woman, so there was no way he could have gone to those appointments.
Always in my mind, I thought, well, maybe it's a possibility. So at that time, I went and picked her up, me and Ms. Hightower, picked her up. Then we took her to the mall, went to the mall. So at that point, I just left it like that.
That explains why that memory never faded. Even I would not forget such a memory. Ms. Jackson says that the last memory she remembers of Mr. Hightower was when she was 6 years old. He promised to get her a bike for Christmas and he disappeared and never came back. There was no Mr. Hightower and there was no bike.
Do you remember meeting Brittany?
I do, and she was 2 years old. We picked her up and we took her to the mall. And she says, I don't know how she remembers me, because that's the last time I've seen her. I mean, I've seen her other times, but it was when she was 2 and 3. It's a good memory.
Whew. She is really heartbroken by the whole situation. She is sad and angry at the fact that Mr. Hightower waited 20 years before deciding to come find her and make things right. What's even more mind-blowing is the fact that Ms. Jackson actually remembers Mr. Hightower's wife and the time they all went to the mall.
24 now.
What she's saying, Mr. Hightower, she doesn't believe you put enough commitment and effort towards being a part of her life and finding her. DNA test or no DNA test, I mean, honestly, if you believed she was your daughter, then why not just...
Looks like she really was eager to find out where her father disappeared to. She says that when she turned 15 years old, she went to social media and searched for Mr. Hightower's name and any family members that were related to him, but couldn't find any results. Mr. Hightower insists that he tried to get a DNA test done, but Ms. Jackson's mother just never followed through.
Reaches out to Ms. Jackson.
My life that I was living back in the past, I changed my life, turned my life over to God. So I felt that there was closure that I needed, so I asked my daughter if she can find her so I can reach out to her, because
That sounds like a pretty reasonable thing to do. God does indeed work wonders. Mr. Hightower says that when he turned his life around and started to strengthen his faith in God, he felt that Ms. Jackson was a chapter in his life, and so he asked his daughter to find her. Now he is in the courtroom trying to see if he can make amends and know if she is his daughter for sure.
He spoke with Brittany.
For me, it was good conversation. I, enjoyed having a conversation. She told me about her kids. I asked her how was she doing. She said, she had 4 kids, and
I couldn't be happier that Ms. Jackson feels the way she does. She says that when Mr. Hightower finally reached out to her, she was excited because she was finally able to speak to him after all the years that he was away. Well, the moment of truth is finally here. Let's see if Mr. Hightower is actually her biological father.
Of Jackson versus Hightower. When it comes to 24-year-old Brittany Jackson.
Ms. Points says that she made the biggest mistake of her life by saying 5 words, which were, "You are not the father," to the defendant. She claims that they were said out of anger and not based on truth. She hopes to prove to the defendant that the defendant is the father of her, so she can save her relationship with her daughter. This is how the case starts off.
Ms. Points, you say you made the biggest mistake of your life by saying 5 words. You are not the father, to the defendant. You claim they were said only out of anger and not based in truth.
Looks like there is a lot at stake here. Ms. Points wants to mend her relationship with her daughter and settle things with the defendant, Mr. Rowan. Mr. Rowan also wants to get to the bottom of the issue and find out if Ms. Cheryl Points is actually his biological daughter.
Your Honor, because I'm here to regain a relationship with my daughter. I don't hear from her. She don't call. I don't see her. I haven't seen her over a couple months now, so it's heartbreaking.
And you admit you caused this drama by telling the defendant.
Let's just say Ms. Points has learned her lesson. Once you tell a man he is not the father of your child, best believe that he is never getting those words out of his head. Ms. Points does state that she only said the words because she was upset. Her daughter has not spoken to her in years, and now she hopes she can make amends and mend their relationship.
Since you are not Cheryl, Ms. Points' biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
And why are you convinced?
Well, not only was it the fact of what she said, I wasn't the father, it's just I was there from day one since she was born, and they handed her to me, and
Aside from the fact that Ms. Points spoke the words, "You are not the father," Mr. Rowan says that he does not believe Ms. Cheryl Points is his child because her hair is quite different from the rest of his children, even though they are from different women. Then again, all kids can't all look like their father.
You know?
He said, no, it's not my child.
no, I didn't say that.
During the pregnancy or at the birth?
It was after the birth.
That's incorrect. I was at the hospital when she was born. I named her Cheryl Sade.
So,
We can all agree that Mr. Rowan is one hilarious character. What does he even mean by him and birth certificates don't get along very well? That's the first time I'd be hearing that. Oh well. Ms. Points says that he denied the baby at the hospital after she gave birth, but Mr. Rowan says that it's not true, and he was actually excited that she gave birth to Ms. Cheryl Points.
Point, did you feel like this is not my child and started to deny her?
I never denied her. 2 years into it, she told me that somebody else was the father, and I wasn't even trying to hear that. I'm like, I done been daddy for
Once again, Mr. Rowan doesn't cease to make everyone laugh. He says that he started to doubt that Ms. Cheryl Points was his daughter when Ms. Point told him to his face after 2 years that another man was her father. What upset him the most was the fact that he had taken care of Ms. Cheryl Points, only to hear that he was not her father after 2 years.
So you just decided, I'm gonna say these words to hurt him.
Yes, I knew that's the most important thing to him, and I knew it was gonna get to him.
Never understanding how you would hurt your daughter.
You're right, I never was understanding that.
Who knew someone's hair could cause so much trouble? Well, the judge asks Ms. Cheryl Points if she ever heard her parents argue about her paternity, and she replies by saying that she did hear her parents argue, and Ms. Points told Mr. Rowan that there was a possibility that Ms. Cheryl Points might not be his daughter.
He was angry, mad at my mom because my brother and my sister have a father, and I have other kids too, and I want my kids to have a granddaddy, so I was angry and stuff at my mama.
Looks like Ms. Points says a lot of hurtful things anytime she is upset. Ms. Cheryl Points goes on to tell the judge that anytime her mom is angry, she tells her that she looks like the other possible father. And anytime Ms. Cheryl Points decides to ask her what she means by that, she would go mute and not speak about it again. I wonder why a mother would say something like that to her child.
We didn't really have a relationship. We went out a couple times and stuff.
During the time when you were with Mr. Rowan?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so clearly you were intimate with this man as well?
Wow. That's one big-ass truth bomb Ms. Points just dropped in the courtroom. She says that she was indeed intimate with the other man in question, and all that happened while she was in a relationship with Mr. Rowan. She also told the other guy that he could be the father of her daughter, but he was not allowed to come to the hospital because Mr. Rowan was there.
On Sherelle's birth certificate.
No, I didn't sign it. I don't do birth certificates.
But another man's name is?
Well, that's
Miss Point.
makes me want to just clench my...
Phew. Ms. Points is in some serious trouble, that's for sure. She initially said that Mr. Rowan signed her daughter's birth certificate. The judge did her findings, and it turns out that Mr. Rowan's name is in fact not on the birth certificate, and another man's name happens to be on the birth certificate. Ms. Points has a lot of explaining to do.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you've known all these years, for 29 years, that this other man's name was on her birth certificate?
Yes, I did.
So when Mr. Rowan left, the other man came up to the hospital,
Your Honor.
and then...
Wow. I am honestly speechless. Well, the truth is finally out of the box, and we now know who the father is. This AY explains why Ms. Cheryl Points has refused to speak to her mother. Oh well, let's see what the DNA results are going to say about the whole situation.
To 29-year-old Sherelle Points, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Rowan, you are not the father.
No.
Ms. Porter-Atkins says that since she gave birth to her son 3 months ago, the defendant has done nothing to contribute to her child's care. She claims to be tired of the defendant's paternity denial and also claims that he better step up once the results show that he is the father of her child. Well, this is how the case starts off in the courtroom.
Ms. Porter-Atkins, you say since giving birth to your son, Jeremiah, 3 months ago, the defendant has done nothing to contribute to his care. You are tired of the defendant's paternity denial.
Oh, she is furious for sure. She is angry at the fact that she has told the defendant, Mr. Fisher, that he is the father, and she wonders why he has refused to help take care of the child. Mr. Fisher, on the other hand, says that he knows another man who believes he is the father of the child.
So I just so happened to get told to walk out his food. Oh, he was like, you're really pretty. I was like, oh, thank you. He was like, can I get your number? I was like, sure, why not?
So I grabbed her number, we was texting and stuff, and she wanted me to come up there on her break. So I come here.
A combo special? Oh, come on. I don't know any fast food restaurants that offer that type of combo. Mr. Fisher says that the first time they met, Ms. Porter-Atkins was on a break, and when they went to the parking lot, she told Mr. Fisher to bring a condom with him just to be safe. I have never heard that happen before. Even Judge Lauren couldn't hide her surprise.
Let's come kick it. That's the first time we had our encounter. Now,
So encounter means sex?
yes, and that was in his bed, not at a parking lot.
This is 24 hours after he pulls up at the drive-thru, you all in the bed.
Yes, ma'am, and that's because I don't see myself being in a relationship with.
Let's hope she learned that lesson. Ms. Porter-Atkins explains to the judge that she did not have sex with Mr. Fisher in the parking lot. They had sex at his place, and it was the following day. She also goes on to say that she was not looking to be in a relationship with him. She just wanted to kick it in bed and be on her way.
He up all the time just to, like, you know, chill and get intimate. She was very on top of the condom situation. I didn't want to use a condom. It's some concerns, cause
well, he better be careful now. He's about to piss off Judge Lauren, and the last thing he wants is for her to be pissed. Ms. Porter-Atkins tells the judge that the second time they met up, she told Mr. Fisher that she was on her ovulation cycle, and there were chances that she could get pregnant. Mr. Fisher still proceeded to have sex with her without using a condom.
From when I left Memphis on July 10th through August 4th, he is the only person I had sex with. I was not in no relationship. I wasn't committed to nobody. I wasn't even talking to nobody. He's the only guy. And for him to sit up here and lie.
Phew, she is pissed. Someone needs to put an ice pack on her head before it explodes on Mr. Fisher. What's getting her upset is the fact that she knows Mr. Fisher is the only one she slept with, and now he is in the courtroom trying to act like she sleeps around and they didn't make the baby.
Is aware that you believe you are Jeremiah's biological father.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell the court what your relationship with Ms. Porter-Atkins is.
Well, we met on Instagram, I say 2015. We was cool, best friends.
There goes another truth bomb. Mr. Tate walks into the courtroom and tells the judge that he believes he is the father of the child because the first time he had sex with Ms. Porter-Atkins, she had a miscarriage. They then had unprotected sex again before she traveled, and that's why he believes he is the father of the child.
Mr. Tate has testified fact that he truly believes he could be Jeremiah's biological father. What do you know about this?
If you look at the timeline between the time Jeremiah was born,
she's not wrong. Looks like his mother has a different analogy for the whole situation. Well, that's just about enough of this case. The results have been submitted to the judge, and she is ready to give her verdict.
Atkins versus Fisher, pertaining to whether Mr. Fisher or Mr. Tate is the father of the child Jeremiah Porter-Atkins.
Do you know that feeling when your best friend goes running to your boyfriend to tell them all about your different escapades with other men? Well, Ms. Strempke knows that feeling very well. Her friend told her partner, Mr. Jaramillo, about her different attempts with other men, and now Mr. Jaramillo doubts that both of his children belong to him. It all began like this.
Claim your doubt is valid because you were present when another man impregnated Ms. Strempke, and the family you thought you were building is not salvageable until you have DNA proof. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Strempke.
That's right, Ms. Strempke. Children are extremely wise, and you don't want your child to grow up in that sort of situation. Mr. Jaramillo says this is regrettable, but he really can't do anything about it since the paternity issues get brought up in fights.
Feel that those are his kids.
You know, when you got pregnant with the oldest daughter, Naviana, what was the issue surrounding her paternity?
I had just gotten out of a relationship with my son's father and had moved back to Iowa. Well, I ended up
Now, Mr. Jaramillo had never met this friend before, but he believed every word she said. Ms. Strempke, of course, knew the friend in question and argued that it was all a lie.
Which I really don't understand, because how can you base your daughter's paternity off of some girl you had never even met?
Well, it was one of your friends, you know, you'd spent time with her.
What did she say to you exactly, Mr. Jaramillo?
She said that the baby that Ms. Strempke had.
Another thing is that Ms. Strempke and Mr. Jaramillo had only been together for about a month before Ms. Strempke told him that she was pregnant. To make things worse, Naviana was born about 3 weeks early, which makes it seem like the child truly doesn't belong to Mr. Jaramillo. Instead, it's for the man Ms. Strempke slept with before meeting him.
About the time that the other males were present.
I was upfront with you and told you that there was one other person before we had gotten together.
You said one other person, and then came another fellow that your best friend told me about.
What about the second daughter? What doubts does Mr. Jaramillo have about her? And exactly how did he get those doubts? The answer will probably surprise you.
Well, it wouldn't be the worst thing because we're getting along really well. The question of paternity is not being brought up anymore. And that's when we ended up deciding to spice up our sex life and everything. And we ended up having a female-female threesome.
Mr. Jaramillo's friend didn't come over for pancakes. He came over for a different sort of cake. Mr. Jaramillo invited his friend to have intercourse with his wife, and none of the 3 people involved used any sort of protection. Imagine if they did. It would have protected both of them from showing up in paternity court today.
It was a mutual suggestion between Amber and I. We had gone through it back and forth between Miss Strempke and I. It was a toss-up back and forth. One minute she'd want to do it, the next minute she didn't. And from being with Amber, I know if she's gonna do something, it has to be.
Look, if you want to spice up your marriage, here's some good advice. Don't invite other people into it. If you want to add more excitement to your marriage, go see a movie. Get on a jet and go for a vacation. Anyway, let's find out who the child's birth father is.
Comes to 8-month-old Alex Jaramillo. It has been determined by this court, Mr. Jaramillo, you are the father.